everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
And I'm Mike Delisio.
And today we're reviewing one of 3 games from Bitewing. They did a Reiner Knizia trilogy. It's called the Cosmic Silos Trilogy. A loosely based trilogy of games about space. And we know this because 2 of them were rethemed from games that weren't space into space. So, of course, we're going to review number 3 first. I don't know why.
That's how we do it around here. This is, I would say, objectively the most space of the 3.
Maybe. Well, we'll talk about that when we review the other ones. This is Orbit. This is the only one of the 3, though, that they released that is new. It is a brand new game. It is a racing game of sorts. Be the first person to visit a bunch of planets before everybody else. So let's take a look at it, and we'll be right back. There's a lot of different variants for the game, but I'm just going to go over the base game. The planets, there's different orbits for the planets. You can see them, and they're different spots, and you put them out kind of randomly on the board. Each player puts their spaceship on their colored planet, and you'll also have your own little player board here showing each other planet other than your own color. And then you have cards and energy tracks here and a spot for you to keep your energy. Players are having to visit all the other planets. The first player to do that is the winner. You're going to do that by playing a card from your hand. Everyone's going to start with a hand of 3 cards. When you play a card, you have possible different options on which you can do in any order. All these cards will show you moving a planet. This here lets you put out a nebula, which is one of the different modules. So if you're not playing with nebulas, you ignore it. But these will move these planets. This one moves the yellow 1, 2 spaces following the arrow. So 1, 2. This one will move the blue and the purple. And you can see if somebody's on a planet, they will move with the planet. So the blue moves there, the purple moves there. If it shows energy up here, you'll fill your energy. If it shows green, you fill all up to your complete amount, which at the beginning of the game is 2. Otherwise, it will show 1, 2, or 3 bars, and you'll get that much energy. Then the other thing on the card is movement. When I have 3 movement, I can move, and I'll move from different spots. So I might want to move my planet first if that's on the card. But you can move and stop. If you stop on a planet, you don't have to move your full movement. If you stop on a planet, then you will take that planet off your board if I stop on the red planet. If you stop on one of these tokens that are randomly put out at the beginning of the game, you'll get the benefit of them. Some of them increase your hand size. Some of them increase your maximum energy. And some of them fill your energy up completely. Others, like this common here, let you move in a straight line as far as you want to in that direction. Some of the planets, when you discover them, will do the same thing. This one, for example, when you discover the orange planet, it helps your energy get higher. The purple planet makes your hand size bigger. And the brown planet lets you move in a straight line. And the black one lets you move to one of these spots here on the board. These spots also, if you ended one, you can zoom to another one. And so that's what you're doing over the course of this game is you're moving around. You have to be careful. Some cards let you reverse the direction of planets. And you have to be careful that you don't move a planet. If blue is sitting here and I move the orange to this spot, then blue's on that planet. On their turn, they're going to score that one. Unless I move it 2, then it just zooms on by them. And that's it. That's the basic rules. The first person to visit all the planets is the winner of the game. I should mention, why do you need energy? Because you can spend energy to move extra spots. It's a big deal for you. 3 energy and you play a card that lets you move 3. You can then move up to 6 if you want to by spending energy. Energy is very handy to move great lengths across the board. There's also, as I mentioned in the overview, there's lots of different little modules here. There's another side of the board where the paths of the planets can go in different directions. There's, I don't know how much of it's Kickstarter or not. Mike, do you know?
Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly. I know that none of this stuff is exclusive. I can tell you that all of it is available, and nothing was exclusive to Kickstarter. But I believe the kind of the mini expansions are something that you would have to add on. Of course, the board is there in the base game, and I think even maybe one or two of the variants might just be something that came in the base box, but I don't know for sure.
One variant which I do know comes in the base game, the Nebulas. I will say that I think I will always play with that because a nebula is just a token you put on a spot, and then the planets will skip that spot when they're going around, which could actually, if you work hard at it, you could make a planet never move.
Sure, or you can make it, zoom around half the board, in a single go. In some ways, I see why it's kind of an optional, like, well, this is an extra rule. The downside is that you have to then teach and reaffirm that a card that shows a nebula functionally has no special effect on it. And that's almost harder to do than to just teach the nebula.
I agree, and that's my reasoning. Also, I get tired of telling people, that's not the purple planet. That's a nebula. And they're like, oh, this card doesn't... It feels
better when the card does
teach,
something.
Right.
Yeah.
All the other little things you can take out, people won't know they're gone. But that one, people know, and I'm like, it's just easier to teach people the nebulas. But other than that, the production, Bitewing Games is really making a name for themselves with production. A box this size that is not overwhelmingly full, take note other companies, but also, has a lot of, everything is just really good in this game. From the screen printed meeples, the Vincent Dutrait artwork is not like all over the place because you're kind of looking at a board moving around colors and stuff, but it's good. It's a colorful board. I don't know. I like the look, and the quality of everything is really top notch.
I do think that there's like little wood disc upgrades, right, for some of the things. I believe that was part of the Kickstarter as well. But otherwise, it's going to be cardboard punch-outs that have the same art, same readability, same visibility and everything. So either one you have a very functioning, good-looking product. I think that sometimes Vincent Dutrait's artwork is a little busy to parse, and I think in this one they had a very good focus of vision, so everything's very readable easily for me.
Yeah, I'm assuming, Tom, that you used the deluxe upgrades in the overview. So, dual layer boards are not in the standard edition. But, I've seen the pieces for the standard edition. I've actually played the standard edition, and it's good quality cardboard. The cards are still nice quality. The art is good. It's for a game where the board is black, it has enough splashes of color that it still feels vibrant. It's a game, sometimes I have an issue with space games that have an overwhelmingly black board, and it feels like something that you look at on the table and it's not terribly enticing to go look at. I think this one is not that way. It's bright and vibrant enough that if you're walking by, you probably will stop and go, oh, what's going on over there? So
I like the game because it's a racing game that is fairly easy to teach. You teach people, here's how you get energy, you move, and you move a planet. And you can do those in whatever order you want. It's a race game. You want to be the first people to get these. They understand the idea of getting more cards, more energy. The game is really easy to teach people. It is a game in which there's 3 things on the cards, other than the nebula, maybe. But there's 3 things on the card, move the planet. And I like it a lot for that reason. People get it. At the beginning of the game, you're unless you're just not trying, you're going to be able to land on another planet pretty quickly because they're just all over the place. Or you'll be able to land on discs and get your cards up or energy up. And at the beginning of the game, you're able to do things that are easy and fun. And then as the game gets long, as you get further into the game, then it becomes trickier. You need to use more strategy in a sense. But at the beginning, it's just fun for people to get started, and I like that a lot.
Well, you get the nice little upgrades. You get the joy of kind of, removing those planet from the little discs from your board. You might choose to start near a couple of battery upgrades and stuff, so you can lean into one choice or the other. It's a dead simple game. In many ways, it's something that feels kind of familiar. Play a card, move, replace your card, right? It's not groundbreaking in a lot of ways, but the combination of those little aspects, those little strategic aspects that unfold, it's just done very cleanly.
Yeah, and since you've mentioned it is a race game, that's definitely how I teach the game. The first thing I'll say is that this is a race game, is that I think oftentimes I have trouble with race games that get convoluted in the rules and the exceptions and the side cases and all that kind of thing, and there's very little of that here. There is one little production issue that I meant to bring up and I forgot, but so I'll bring it up now, is that those space stations, which are the little discs that are seated on the board randomly at the beginning, technically there are black ones and there are gray ones, and they are almost indistinguishable. So I don't teach there are black ones and there are gray ones. The way I teach it is that any of the upgrades come to your board, those come to you. Otherwise, they stay on the board. And so that's one little thing I kind of wish they had made that a little more distinct as far as which ones stay on the board and which ones come to the players. But all that being said, that adds a nice aspect to the game too, where you've got not just the planets, which of course is your main objective, but to help you get that main objective, those little space stations are nice incentives, nice little things that can kind of draw your attention. I think a lot of times in the first game, sometimes people get it right away and understand the importance of those kind of hyper jump spots that can really be a game changer, especially if you find yourself on the other side of the board from a couple of planets that you still need. Those can be a big kind of a power move. And so to be able to do those types of things, to be able to give you those types of decisions by playing one card and drawing back, that's kind of a hallmark of what Knizia tends to do.
There's also, I like how the game handles interaction. There's definitely interaction, especially later in the game. I'm trying to land on the gray planet. Well, I'm going to keep moving that thing, and you have to chase it. But I can never. I mean, I guess if all the players somehow have all these cards, they can, affect one player. But for the most part, you can't keep me from getting there forever. So there's a little bit of that. That's hilarious. I just turned the orange planet around. Sorry, I know you were waiting for it. Now it's not going to happen. There's that interaction, but it's never necessarily mean-spirited because it's just a little bit of take that, but at the same time, I still need to play to get to my own thing. It does mean that if I'm down to one planet and you still have 3 you haven't gone to, I don't necessarily feel like I got it in the bag. And I also like the fact that you're pulling these little things off the board, the space stations, and upgrading, but the game does not allow you to pull them off if you are already full. I can't go to those just to deny them from somebody else.
That's a good point.
So it's good interaction, I think. I mean, it is interaction, and some people may not like that. Mm-hmm. I just don't think it goes over the top.
No, it's all subtle, and on the front side of the board, I think less so than the back side, because the back side has the alternate pathways where I'm moving the red planet along. I get to choose if it's going to branch left or right, and that's just a fun little extra decision to have on top of those things. And then someone plays a card that turns the red one around, and then my choice was moot anyway. But yeah, so it's interactive. It's quick paced, but with the little extra modules, with the two sides of the board, this game can go from very, very approachable, right? I'm sure that people watching this are saying, it doesn't sound like there's much to this game. It sounds so simple. And that's kind of the front vanilla side, without the extra little bits and bobs. But it kind of beefs up just enough to make me say, oh, I like that it does that.
Yeah, and it's hard to have a racing game that's not interactive. I suppose if you did, it wouldn't feel much like a race, And so I agree that I like the way the interaction is handled here. As Chris mentioned, on the other side of the board, there's much more of an opportunity to directly impact other players. But I feel like this is the type of a game where you really have to decide whether it's more important to worry about the person that's in front of you and try to actively hinder them, or to try to set yourself up so that you can pull off a really good move that gets you right back in the race, so to speak. And so, yeah, I like the way that the interaction is handled in this, the way that this race game kind of, there's no real rubber banding, I would say. It's not like there's catch-up mechanisms at all, but it does seem like you can come from behind, that you're not out of it if someone's 2 planets ahead of you necessarily, as you said, Tom.
What would you give it, Chris?
Score-wise, I'm coming in at an 8. I like this one a lot. I would have been much lower on my initial impression, especially, as I said, playing just kind of the vanilla options. I thought, well, okay, this is a cute game. Knizia at it again, play a card, draw a card, and move around. But yeah, as you start introducing the nebula, as you start introducing the hyperdrive upgrade you can get, where you get rid of energy cubes in general, and you can just shoot in a straight line. all of a sudden the game becomes more thinky than I was expecting. It grows on me, but also has the fact that I can still play it very vanilla and have a lot of fun with it. I can teach this game to almost anyone, I think, right? And then I can play with all the advancements and stuff, and then it becomes a little bit more of the level where I want to play it at, but I'm happy to play it either way. I like it a lot. It's an 8.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'd love to shake things up with a big difference in number, but I'm also at an 8 on this one. And I think I agree with you, Chris, in the sense that after the first play, I'm not sure I would have been there, but this is one that has definitely shown more the more that I've played it. And for me, it's not even necessarily adding more complexity. I understand why, for you or for some other players, that's going to be the thing that kind of goes, oh, this has got so much more going on, and I agree. But I've just kind of been able to find little kind of nuances just in the base game, maybe adding the nebulas in, like you said, just in the base game as far as like rhythm and tempo is much more important. I mean, it should have been obvious to me in a race game, but kind of the way rhythm and tempo is plays out in this game has become more and more interesting the more that I've played it. The more that I've seen other people take very different approaches than I have, I've been like, oh, I never even really considered doing what they're doing here as far as like being very methodical and kind of planning out their path as much as you can in a game where planets are moving. So yeah, it's a game that has kind of grown on me even more the more I've played it. So an 8.
Yeah, I give Mike a lot of grief about his Knizia love, and will continue to do so for his erroneous doing of it. But this game I like a lot. My first play of it was, we played it live way back in the day. We played the 2-on-2, and that's okay. I mean, I liked it. But I like this singular, I want to race and win. I played with almost every variant and different things, and I like the mixing, matching of them. It's almost, in many ways, this game gives me a feeling almost of the old game Ricochet Robots, but way less stressful. But I love the idea of moving into Yellow Planet 2, then shooting off it. Or finding a cool move that I can do. And then, do you upgrade, or do you go get the planets? And or mixing and matching those. But also, at the same time, it's not that complex. It's a game I can play with people very easily. I played it with one of the slowest players I know. And it was fine. That's positive. As long as they're not watching this video. It is great. I really like this one. I'm giving it a 9. I just found it to be very fun, very approachable game. It's the kind of games I want more of. We have tons of heavy games. We have tons of super light games. But I want a game that we can come out and play and just have a rollicking time. And it feels that way. It gives you thinkiness, but also the silliness of a race. And it's a good combo of those. Right. So there you go. That is Orbit. Orbital race between interstellar tourists. No one will ever say that.
The O in Orbit stands for orbital.
Yeah. Oh, is that... Oh, I hate that so much, actually.
It's an 8 now from Tom.
Anyway, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Mike DeLisio.
See y'all next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.